What up, everybody? This is Jason Lee, and this is Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored, and I am back in Los Angeles. I have been away in Atlanta. Shout out to everybody living in Atlanta. I don't know how you do it. It's just too humid. It's too wet. And I ain't talking about the way that leaves you sticky in the morning. But listen, I'm back on the radio right off the plane, and today's show is a little different. So we're going to get into a whole bunch of things like where's Giovanni at? Where's Melissa Ford? Because they ain't here. Them niggas is out. They're out today. But anyway, we'll get into all that. But this is a different type of show. This is a show where I've invited two of my friends, two of the people that are closest to me, which means that we have fallen out about 1,000 times.
Million.
You haven't been announced yet, so hold the fuck up. So like I was saying, two of my closest friends are here, and one of the people here at Hollywood Unlocked behind the scenes that you never see. So I'm going to introduce them really quick. First, thought number one, that's Rob Smith.
I'm Rob Smith. I'm not a thought, but yes, I am a longtime friend of Jason Lee.
I guess only on the weekends. In the chair next to him is somebody you've seen online multiple times when we travel. I have called him a thought to the extent that now when people walk up to him, they don't even say his name. They just like, what up, thought? This is Lee.
What's up, everybody? I am the official Jason Lee thought partner, travel buddy.
Yeah, but you're not as bad as I am. You're actually the voice of reason.
Thank you.
Until it gets too expensive. And then right here to my right is Kelvin. Kelvin is actually behind the show. He comes up with all the hot topics, and he often misspells the shit that we're talking about. But anyway, he's here. He's great. He also does 6 Degrees of Sexpiration, and we'll be getting into some topics. So people watching right now are like, oh my God, Gio left the show and Melissa got in that car wreck, and that's why his friends are here. No. Well, that's partially true.
I can't already.
I just got back from Wildin' Out, and I felt... Lee has been here holding down the fort. Rob has been a very influential person in my life and has been very supportive. And they never asked me to do anything for them ever. And I always ask them for shit. And they don't ever tell me, you asking me for shit, but you ain't never let me ask you for shit. So I figured, why not share my platform and share what y'all are doing and like have a reckless conversation?
Appreciate it.
Won't he do it?
And I'm just stuck in the middle of it. So sorry, Mom, in advance.
Well, I'm sure your mom has heard, the things that we're going to talk about today. But, we said we weren't going to be too reckless. So, look, here's what I've been moved by. I was saying on the set of Wildin' Out, where I just got back from shooting season 13, that I had to tell one of my co-stars, I'm not your friend. We had this moment, me and one of my co-stars, I'm not going to say their name, but I had to remind them that we're not friends. We're co-workers. And they found themselves in a precarious situation with me where, we had to go there one morning over coffee. But the reality is that I learned in this city a long time ago, like everybody ain't your friend and everybody in this business ain't your friend. So I wanted to talk about friendship, but more importantly, share the platform with my friends and have a semi-reckless conversation. So before we get into that, I have to address the elephant in the room. It ain't Gio. Oh, no, I'm just playing. Okay, so Giovanni, those of you listening, was a part of the show. And he has his endeavors that he's gone on to pursue. And we've been having conversations on this show about elevating the conversation. We live in a country right now where our president is starting wars with people, not physical shooting wars, but just war of words, just war of cultural beliefs, war of restrictive activities that I feel like this show has now reached an audience where we have to elevate the conversation a little bit. And then on top of that, we're all just so busy. And then with Melissa having her accident, we started having a conversation about where the show was going to go. And this was an ongoing conversation. And so Gio and I had a conversation about it. And we decided, for him to grow and for me to grow and the show to grow, that we would go a separate way. So he's no longer here. Now, that being said, Hollywood Unlocked Uncensored, still going to go on. And Gio's welcome to come back, as he's been told, whenever he has something to promote. So there's no drama there. People relax. I know the Gio Army is upset, but we'll have people rotate in that seat, or we'll have somebody get there that's comfortable. And then when we find the right person, then we'll just move forward as a family. But I am excited to announce Melissa Ford will be back here at the show, top of December. And she's doing a lot better. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Hey, Melly Mel.
All right, so Robert.
Oh.
So this is Rob. Rob is an actor. So go ahead and tell your thing. How do we meet? How we become friends? Tell whatever stories you want. I don't give a shit.
Well, I'm not exactly sure how we first met, but our relationship progressed and we became closer friends when you moved back from New York. And
tell the story. Tell the whole story.
And needed a place to crash. And you hit me up. And I was like, absolutely, you can crash at my place. And that became the craziest, 2
2 years.
2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
Maybe the craziest 2 years I've had out here. in LA.
Crazy's not the best word. I think exciting.
I guess it's subjective.
I'm just because I don't get this opportunity a lot, so I'm like Jason's not right here. So what's been the craziest roommate situation that you had with Jason?
Well, there's one that I know he ain't gonna tell on this show.
Oh, well, there's about 4 that I don't want to tell.
Say I give you $5.
Tell him the
$5.
Tell him the homeless story.
So, yeah, this is God.
I'm already done.
Apparently, Jason came across someone on the street who he thought would be my type, and they happened to be homeless. So he brought this person to my home, showered them, let them use my white towels to dry off, and kept them there for I don't know how long because I hadn't come home before they were gone. So
wait. So pause, Jason.
What?
So when you're out scouting for him and you come across this,
I went to 7-Eleven for a Reese's Pieces buttercup,
and he was sitting there asking for 5 cents.
There was somebody sitting in some oil, and I felt. First of all, I tell everybody every day, I'm a cross between Oprah Winfrey and Wendy Williams with a penis. Oprah Winfrey, he does not need to be on these streets. Wendy Williams, I'm about to go hook him up with Rob. So anyway, I took this person back to Rob's house, cleaned him up. Like you said, white towels, white and oil. Doesn't work, I guess. And Rob was really angry with me. Why would you be so mad? I was thoughtful.
Really?
You didn't think that was being thoughtful?
I don't. I think it was being messy. And you know what that's a reference to?
What is a reference to?
The old platform.
Low-key messy?
Low-key messy.
He took it there.
That was the days of low-key messy.
Well, listen, what we started off by telling the story is that when I moved back from New York, before New York, I lived in Hollywood, had a beautiful place, all this. I went to New York for about 6 months. And when I came back, I was over responsibility. I had worked my whole life. I was like, let me just crash at your place for like a month. We just don't. But the problem was we were partying. This was back when like the socialite phase was really big. Mm-hmm. We were partying every day.
Every day.
Drinking and partying.
Every day.
I could make $10,000, $20,000, but I was going to put that towards alcohol in the club. But I think then is where you were working with blackfilm.com. Mm-hmm. And the boom of the blog was happening and I knew I wanted to do it. And the one thing that I remember about Rob was just how supportive he was in helping me find my way. Because I launched a platform called lowkeymessy.com. If people know me, they know like that was like some messy shit. But the idea was it would be funny messy, but it was just messy.
It got messy.
And so that really hurt me because I had all these relationships. And then on one hand, I had this messy blog. But then, the evolution of Hollywood Unlocked came about. But what did you think during that time period? Did you think I'd figure it out?
I absolutely thought you would figure it out. I mean, the 2 years of us hanging out wasn't just about the partying. It was us developing a relationship and a friendship and me seeing the potential of where you were going to get to the point where you are now. So I absolutely always knew that this was going to come,
And the other thing, with Rob, when you're in the hustle, you have to have a friend, whether it's your hustle of selling bundles or your hustle of selling drugs or your hustle of selling media. You have to have people in your corner that you can lean on that are going to be dependable and that are going to tell you the good word and that are going to talk you off the ledge. There have been many a times that I've been ready to just blow up the earth and Robin said, let me hold the lighter real quick and let's have a conversation. What do you think has been the most difficult thing in being my friend?
I would absolutely say the most difficult part is you are very, very, you don't budge when you have an opinion on something. And it's very hard to get you to let someone in with their opinion. And I think, it's not a negative characteristic. I think it's just you always being confident in your beliefs and solid in your beliefs, which is a good thing. But sometimes, we have to push you to let us in a little bit more.
That's what he said.
Choose your words
Definitely
wisely.
didn't mean it like that, right?
So Lee here, you're a pretty interesting character. Singer, songwriter, creative person. I told you your title should be I Sell Swag. You don't listen.
It's in my Insta bio now.
So when I met Lee, I used to tell him about my fashion, how I was the most fashionable person in the world.
Okay. That's a lie. When I first met Jason, it was like over a decade ago. He was the most reckless person that I've ever met. I was a step away from a black Republican when I first met him. I was very conservative, and he was like, just turning up. And then I was like, I don't like that guy, but he was like literally everywhere. So I couldn't get away from him. But then, we kind of just like start butting, like, making some type of working relationship. Then I'm like, yo, did you ever consider fashion at all? Because like when I met Jason, he was like in a plaid shirt, like it was striped, and it was from Macy's
with some flip flops off
and
ice cream
flip flops
truck.
and some shorts. It was like a uniform, and I'm
Looking like the homeless man.
You claim to have a lot of money. You people have money, dress nice, but you know what? He got it together, and like he has an extensive wardrobe right now. So, you're welcome.
The day I met Lee, we were at a bowling alley, and I was telling somebody said something about some party. And I said, oh, like that sex party so-and-so be having, just as conversation, wasn't trying to be messy. Like I was just being conversational. Lee was this Christian. Oh my God, I can't, oh my God. And he leaves. I'm like, okay, well, fuck you then, nigga. So I end up at Pleasure Peace House that night for a party. And then Lee was there and he gonna come to my, oh, can we talk about earlier? I was like, no. And then years later, we became friends. All right, now here's Kelvin.
Yeah,
Kelvin, you're pretty messy and petty too.
I'm slightly petty. I don't think I'm messy though.
6 degrees of sexpiration is messy.
Messy.
It's messy-ish, but it's not like all the way in the bucket.
So like Blackish is about black people, but it's Blackish.
Yeah, so this is messy-ish.
So what is messy-ish?
It's like it's walking the line. Like if I teeter just a little bit left, I'll probably get a lawsuit. But if not, I'm good. We're good.
So I was recently in Atlanta filming season 13 of Wild 'N Out, which was amazing. But I also did Dish Nation. And on Dish Nation, so the Brad is sitting right here. She's legendary. Quad from Married to Medicine is right here. Gary with the T and Head Crack. We're all there. And they're like, so what type of guys do you date? And I said, well, I typically date homeless sexuals. Mind you, it was a joke. Like people have now started a campaign of taking pictures of anybody they've seen me with and posted online and saying, is this the homeless sexual? Which is sad. So let me define what a homeless sexual is and let me tell you what happened. So I went to Miami. I was invited to dinner with Lenny Kravitz and a few people. And we're in there talking and I take a picture with Lenny and Lenny grabs the phone and he goes, let me see. And he goes to swipe right.
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
I was like, you swipe left or right? Nigga, we gonna change the whole dynamic at this dinner table. So he gave me the phone back. So we started talking and I looked at my phone and somebody had tagged me in a post that said homeless sexual, like the definition of a homeless sexual is a guy who has sex with men for a place to live. And I thought,
well, damn.
Where is Josh at?
Oh.
And I just started thinking about my life and I found myself curled up in bed wondering, was I ever really in love? Anyway, after that, it was so funny of a joke that when I went on Dish Nation, I just said, I need relationship advice because I date homeless sexuals. But I don't. It was a joke.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me?
You had a whole chorus over here.
I heard a choir.
Jason has a specific type, and I'm not going to go into detail, but he's a generous person. And I think he sees potential.
Generous sounds like a transaction.
It is
does. It sounds
transactional.
like
It's
you
very
have, like,
transactional.
PayPal.
Actually, it is.
Well, his type is usually good looking and broke.
Right.
Excuse
No
me?
confidence, no self-esteem.
That's not true.
So where do you find these people at?
Hold on. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. First of all, let's be clear. See, I've realized like me dating an attorney or a doctor, we not going to have much in common. You're going to talk to me about your law practice, which I'm not interested in. I'm going to talk to you about what the fuck Carrie Hilson ain't doing. We not going to be able to work. Okay? Or I'm going to want to take a trip somewhere and you're going to have to go work at the... See, now, mind you, if I meet you and you work at the Burger Barn, it's an easy conversation. You ain't going back to the Burger Barn today. You going with me to... we going to London or we going to go to Japan. So I've dated people whose time is flexible.
So they can fit into your schedule.
Yeah.
That makes sense, though.
But you don't believe that? You don't believe that?
I mean, I like this justification.
It
it's
makes
well thought
sense to the untrained ear. It makes sense. But what I know, Jason, like they're treated very well. I'll give you that. Like, he really be flipping lives. Like, I'll sit there and like, and then
Like a new HGTV show, Flip Lives.
Like, oh, hey, let me copyright that right
You-
now.
you
Life
need to-
flipper.
Low key. But no, like, he really flips lives. Like, we'll go see somebody and they'll like be like, around a 5 or 6. And then after we get done with them, like, he's like, Lee, I need you to go shopping for them. There's always a check. I don't say no to any bags. So at the end of the day, I go and I'm like, okay, I know what they need to do. We're gonna send them to Allen. Allen gonna cut their hair. Then after we take them to Allen, we're gonna get them the flyest sneakers, and we're gonna go do them a little Fashion Nova, because they're not ready for a designer yet. So then after we get them like the Fashion Nova man, and then they're a new person and they get this swag, and then they start feeling themselves, and then I look and I pull them to the side like, yo, bro, I've been his friends 10 years. Don't get too comfortable. You'll be gone tomorrow. And I swear to God, every day that I say that, the next day they're on a plane back to wherever they came from.
Tell the story about my birthday when we go to Vegas. Don't say the name though. Just
Come on now. I'm media trained. So pretty much, Jason find another potential. That's what we're going to call them. They're potentials, okay? And I'm sitting here, and I'm just a good friend, and I'm like, okay. And I look to the guy, I pulled him to the side. I pulled Jason to the side, actually. I said, he's not going to make it past the weekend. And then Jason was like, what? Because you have to think about these people, right? I've been blessed, and Jason's been very blessed to be around certain people. So sometimes I come and I'm like in a room that I know I should not damn well be in.
no, I'm not gonna say that, because Oprah Winfrey said, if you find yourself in a room, you do belong there.
That's what she said.
It's just what she said.
There you go.
Listen to me. Listen to me. It's so funny. I'm gonna just, because all my fans know I'm a name dropper anyway. So let's get the fuck over it, okay? The other night, 5:30 in the morning, I'm sitting in the Waffle House with Tiffany Haddish. We just in the Waffle House talking, but I didn't see her as the Tiffany Haddish on TV. Everybody around us did, because I've been blessed with having relationships with people who've kept me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, who we gonna get together. Me and Rob don't never talk about the industry. We don't never talk about the industry. We talk about life, family, dating, problems with dating, why we don't want to date no more, when we gonna date again after we give up dating. I mean, we talk about things that are like real people shit. Like the time he almost let me get killed in front of his house when somebody tried to stab me. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
We will go into that story then, because I did not almost let you get killed.
You almost left me there.
How do y'all find yourselves in these situations?
Listen,
We'll go back to that story.
that's a good point.
But anyhow, back to you. Back to I mean, like, I've had friends that keep me grounded. So, but that's why I can sit in that Waffle House with Tiffany, knowing she's in the biggest movie in the country right now, but still look at her as the person. Our whole conversation at dinner was, do you see people now that didn't see who for who you were when you were as talented as you are now? And she's like, yep. So how do you treat them? And she said, with respect, with dignity. They know I know. I don't have to say anything to them. Like, I'm soaking up that game, because those kind of stories keep me focused. Because there's times I'll be looking at people, and I know you have as talented as you are, you as talented as you are. Look at people like, how did you get it? Yeah. Or you may look at it like, my blessing ain't came yet, but you just don't know it's on the way.
Right.
You just that meantime, you got to stay in the meantime.
I receive it, Pastor.
Anyway, back to my tie, or back to the birthday trip.
Yeah, so we're, again, I've been Jason's friend over a decade, which is, that's a miracle. But the kid goes there, and I'm looking, and I'm like just peeping game.
We're going to clarify kid, because this is...
Oh, no. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it like that.
Okay.
Let me
All that
verify.
Kevin Spacey.
Jesus.
I just felt my Instagram.
Hallelujah.
The motherfucker was grown.
All right. No, they're grown. They're grown. No. Let's clear that up. I'm a New Jerseyan.
Leah's from New York, New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm a New Jersey.
They say kid, like,
let's verify that right now. No, the young adult was there, and they have never flown on a plane before, and I'm walking them through how Jason has he's really bougie, so he has something like called global entry and TSA Precheck, and it's for people who travel a lot. That means you don't have to wait in line; you go automatically through. I don't have that, so after the day, and you would think the friend you're traveling with will wait for you. He doesn't wait for me. He goes through, and I wait.
I wait for you at the gate.
At the gate, right, right. When I arrive 30 minutes later. So so I'm walking through with our +1, and then He doesn't know how to put his bags in. He doesn't know that you can't put metal through a metal detector. He's trying to bring in water bottles. And I'm like, yo. And I'm really looking like, this kid doesn't know anything. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, and I pull Jason to the side. I'm like, yo, bro, he's not going to make it past the weekend. And Jason looks at me like, every time he does, you don't know what you're talking about. I know I got this. He's good. He's good. So the kid is making plans. Jason's buying.
The young man,
the young adult.
Can we just
fully grown?
For the sake of today, can we just ban the word kid?
Yes.
All right, the fully grown man.
Listen. Let's be clear. Everybody at this table has their thing. I am 41 years old. People be like, but you don't look 41, because I keep up with the people that I date that are typically 23, 25. You know, if I want to go old, they're about 27. You know, it keeps me alive. So I just want to clear that up.
So for the record,
we have a scandal.
Thank God we finally have a platform. For the record, for people who've been tagging me and posting me every time they see me on a trip with some negative, Jason, I am not Jason's type. Let's just verify that.
Let's be clear. Right. Lee is my friend.
Right. Thank you.
And Rob is my friend. Although I think Rob has been attracted to me for years. Rob is just my friend. No, but it's so funny because you know, and that's the other thing. You know, I love that I have friends who allow me to be as reckless as I need to be at times. They don't judge me. They will tell me sometimes like, okay, bro, you done went a little too far off the edge with that one, you know, but there's no judgment. It's like, I can be vulnerable. I can tell all my, they literally know all my business. And I'm going to tell you, these motherfuckers come out with a book.
Listen.
Buy it.
That girl who released the book, I was sitting there looking at that book like, this is lightweight. Like, what is this?
No, first of all, they're talking about the intern. One of my former interns who I met 4 times wrote a book. First of all, what she needed to do was write a book about how to find a proper bundle. That goddamn hair looked like somebody put her jackass against the wall and
what in this 25?
You know, and the thing about it is, and this is why I don't trust people. Let me see. Smile. Can you smile real quick? Okay. This is why I don't trust people with an underbite. I didn't know if you had an under or overbite.
No.
This is why I don't trust people with an underbite. A motherfucker with an underbite is a shady bitch. You was born fucked up.
God.
No. When you came through that vaginal canal, God knew you was half the woman that you was gonna be. And I should have, when I saw her mouth and she talked with a lisp. How you have a lisp and an underbite?
Jesus.
And you fat and have bad bundles and you're plagiarized stories.
That's a lot.
Anyway, back to this girl, right? So when she wrote the story, I'm thinking like, girl, do you know how many stories is really out there that you could have put a masterpiece together?
Right.
That little shit. I'm a hard worker. I make you do what I want you to do.
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
Right. And very disciplined.
Everybody,
Very disciplined. I would say Jason is about his business. Will say that. I haven't met anybody that says they're gonna do something. Like, for the most part, it comes down to money. Pretty much close his ears because his head's about to get big. But no, I've never met anybody that gets the bag like he does. Like,
Lee calls me one day and he says to me, "Hey man, I found a hoverboard, a guy who makes hoverboards." I said, "Oh, did you really? Well, where's he at?"
I'm about to get sued.
He's in New York. I said, "Well, by the way, all of us fly free."
Yeah.
Listen,
I think I remember this.
stop putting my business on the streams.
we all fly free.
I did not sign a release form. I did not sign a release form.
We all fly free all over the world. But anyway, that's another story. So let me just say that when he calls me, tell me he has this hoverboard. I'm like, "Want to meet the hoverboard?" When I tell you we put together a 2-piece and got about $40,000. Now that was broke to me is we got the $40,000 and then we spent it all.
But tell him how we spend it.
I don't remember.
Well, this is how we spend it. Let's back to the Vegas trip. He's going to find a new potential, and then the potential is going to need a wardrobe change. So that's where I come in. You know, I do creative direction. I've done it for years. Personal shop, shameless plug. But, you know, I go and get them the newest Jordans, the flyest sneakers.
And you throw your shoes in there too.
Of course. Come on now. Now, I'm going to teach y'all something about the hustle. If you don't have money for yourself, you need a friend.
Finish this story with bottom line is the boy went to Vegas for my birthday. His shoes was dirty. I bought him some new pair of shoes. He went to throw the old pair of shoes away.
And I told him not to.
He said not to. He said, "Don't worry, Jason said he going to buy me some." And then by the next day, he
had no shoes.
He was barefoot on the plane.
He had the shoes I bought him.
But he only had another pair of white shoes. I'm like, boy, don't throw those
He
away.
only
Those are
came
good.
with one pair of shoes.
Well, listen. I'm telling you, there's a particular.
Wait,
How long was this trip?
A weekend.
And with one pair of shoes?
Yes.
Well, if you want to hear a story similar to that about somebody who had one pair of shoes,
Wait, so y'all just gonna come on here and tell all my business?
Come on, brother Rob.
Go ahead.
this is just
Go ahead.
another
Go
story
ahead.
from the 2-year span of being in my place.
Yes.
And there was another
Potential.
potential adult
Potential.
who
Emphasis
was
on
invited
adult.
to stay and
Who?
needed something to wear.
Oh, so okay, let's back up. For my birthday,
Another birthday.
one of my birthdays, somebody brought me a living, breathing human being as a birthday present.
What?
He said, here's me, so and so, and I'm like, hey, cornrows, Puerto Rican. I'm like, what's up? This is your birthday present. I said, shut the hell up. He said, no, for real. I said, you my birthday present? He said, mm-hmm. Move in with us then. I mean, so he came to stay at the house, and then now you tell the story.
Instead of hiring a personal shopper, he decided to personal shop in my closet. So I come home and he's walking around in my underwear, which is weird to me because I'm not about to put on some other man's underwear. That's just, I'm not doing it.
Period.
And so I'm like, oh, okay. He said, well, Jason said I could borrow a pair of underwear because I needed something. And
How
I'm
do you
like,
borrow underwear?
okay. Right. It
I
gets,
know, but how do you find these guys with no clothes?
First of all,
It's-
let me be very clear. Let me be very clear. They fine. They fine.
No.
No. My weakness. See, most men's weakness is pussy. They get a piece of pussy, and these niggas want to do cartwheels for Jesus. Where is it? You ain't been to church one Sunday, but you'll go fuck this fat bitch named Tootie, who will give you a place to stay because you're a homeless heterosexual. But the homeless
It's
sexual.
still a homosexual.
Homeless sexual.
homeless sexual.
But here's the deal. My thing is, I love beautiful people. And people be like, damn, Jason ain't got no ugly friends. No. Now, my friend is straight. He's from Paris. He's in the back. He's straight. He's a model. But he's good looking. If he come back and if he come back without an eye, he gonna have to find another friend.
That is low.
I know. Get it? I know. Anyway, no, but here's the deal. I have beautiful people around me. That's just because I choose. My spirit won't allow me to not be around beautiful people. If there's not somebody beautiful in the room, I will literally go into a depression.
You know, there is an energy. I'm not going to.
Anyway, so he had your clothes on. He had your clothes on. Tell your story.
Long of the short is they went out and I was like, I'm going to stay home. And I just got curious. So I was like, let me open up his bag.
No.
Because if he has on my underwear, he probably has other things too. So I'm pulling out my shirts,
No.
my jeans, my shorts, he just packed up everything. And when he came back, I was like, bro, like why are all my clothes in your bag? And he's like, oh, because I borrowed them and I was gonna wash them.
Whoa.
Where? If
You borrowed that much in 2 days, and you were gonna put it in where were you gonna wash it at?
But I just think
New York.
That's what, if he came with one pair of shoes and the shirt, where's the laundromat?
No, he had more than that. But I think, he met me on my birthday as a present. But then after I unwrapped him, I wanted to keep it. But the thing about it is that, that's the same person I got into a fight with. I didn't fight him. Me and him got in a fight in the streets of West Hollywood with 40 people, and Rob almost left me there to bleed to death.
Whoa, Rob.
Not true.
Robert,
You went to go get help.
See, your side of the story is always a little bit different.
Here's the story. Somebody's getting beat up. Me, of course, a good Samaritan. I go and jump in to break it up. I get hit by a few people. There's a lot of people punching people. I get hit in the head by a transsexual. With a heel or what?
It was a stiletto.
I guess.
Yeah.
But when you're fighting 3 people here, it's too much. You can't fight everybody. But anyway, blood started pouring down. I looked like Carrie. Blood everywhere. Rob left me by myself.
Not true.
So what happened, Rob?
Yeah.
So Jason says, I need to go to the hospital. You absolutely do, because you look like Carrie. It was blood, like thick blood from head to toe. And I said, well, let me go get my car. Because Jason was like, go get your car, I was like, okay, let me go get my car.
Did you walk?
No, I ran to my car.
Okay. We're doing good so far.
And my seats were cream leather.
Oh.
So I went to the trunk and I pulled out a sheet that I had in the trunk,
Mm-hmm.
and I covered the seat with the sheet, and then I jumped in the car and I drove over.
By the way, I'm bleeding to death.
He's not bleeding to death.
You're left in the corner
When you
to
bleed
die.
out of your head, there's a lot more blood. So it just seems you just thought you were bleeding to death.
This bitch watched one episode of ER.
I'm just
Grey's
I'm just
Anatomy,
saying.
and now he telling me I'm dying.
He wasn't dying.
Okay.
It looked like he was. So I pull up and he's getting into a taxi, which I don't know. I don't know how the taxi driver pulled over, but I went to get the car.
Anyway, I went to the hospital. Shout out to Cedar Sinai for saving my life.
Amen.
Okay, so you were gonna ask.
Well, there's just a lot going on. First off, at the table, I'm learning so much about you, Jason, and thank you guys. Is it because they're naked on Instagram
No.
that they don't have the clothes to fund themselves when they get here?
No,
or is it that you just don't like the way they dress? So you're just like, I'm going to make you better.
Okay, so this is what it is. Typically, if I'm hanging with somebody and they don't have style or they don't look like they got it together, I'll have Lee help me put them together. Mm-hmm. And then once they're put together, the clothes they have with them don't matter because them clothes don't match the look.
Yeah, so it's like Build-A-Boo.
Pretty much.
You know what? But let me say this, though. I don't have a problem making sure that somebody that I'm enjoying time with looks good, feels good, eats good, has a great experience. Because I know when you go back to your girlfriend
Jesus.
or whatever,
Jesus.
you gonna remember that experience. Because let me tell you something. This is a lifestyle. This is not a plaything.
Also, you can't like walk into certain parties, certain events if you're not dressed a certain way. You know, discretion of the doorman. So we go into certain places, you won't get in like that.
But how many of you out there have had parents or family members who used to have these old video recordings, be excited about digitizing those movies and those photos? Well, now with Legacy Box, you get to save and preserve all of those amazing things in one place. So let me tell you what I love about Legacy Box. I personally used to have all of this material from photos of going to festivals, concerts, home movies. When I first moved home with my mom, I used to have all these VHS videos that was just sitting around. And even when I was an extra on Living Single and on the Ricky Lake Show, which, by the way, if you find that, I'll give you $100. Crazy. All right, so I had to go all the way back to my family's house when I visited my sister in Stockton, and I went through these old boxes of tapes that I had, and I've brought them all home, and I put them in my Legacy Box. And why? Because if you have reels from way back in the VHS days, now you're able to digitize all of that and have it online, and you can quickly just send off to people that you may love. You know, people that when you move around, you have boxes get thrown away, old VHS tapes are thrown in the garbage. You definitely don't want to lose it. So this gives you one benefit of having Legacy Boxes, that now you can store all of that stuff and you can work to digitize it. There's never been a better time to digitally preserve your memories. Visit legacybox.com today to get started. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering our listeners an exclusive discount. Go to legacybox.com/unlocked to get 40% off your first order, or you can save up to $200 on the largest Legacy Box kit. Go to legacybox.com/unlocked and save 40% today. Get started preserving your past. So Rob is an actor here in Hollywood. Talk about your journey in acting. Talk about coming out here, following your dreams, the ups and downs. What keeps you motivated? What do you like? What you don't like?
Absolutely. So I moved out here actually from Chicago, but moved out here from Atlanta to pursue my acting career. It's been an interesting journey, but a good one. Lots of ups and downs. But for me, the motivating factor has just always been knowing that in this journey, there's no cutoff age, no cutoff for me to continue pursuing it. So I have the luxury of not comparing myself to my friends around me who are continuously becoming more successful day by day. And I've had my successes too, my stint on that web series Milk and Honey that was produced by Idris Elba and was with Debbie Allen, Boris Kodjoe, Lance Gross. So I was lucky enough to be around a cast of people like that. So that kept me motivated and inspired. And then, of course, working with blackfilm.com constantly is a motivating factor as well. Finding myself in environments like Sundance and just having an opportunity to be engulfed in a community of people who love and respect the craft and what they do. So it's been a great journey, and it's only going up.
But how do you stay motivated? Because you, on the other hand, are different. You get frustrated with the industry because of time. Yes. Why?
Well, like similar to what he said, and then like, a lot of people who spend time in Hollywood, you're like, it's not strange to have famous friends or have people that are on when you're in like major cities like New York and Hollywood. But you also start finding yourself doing the same work, even sometimes working harder, or just in looking, you're like, oh, okay, you pop on the TV and you're just like, oh my God, that's da-da-da. But you're like, what? Sometimes it makes you feel like, what did I do wrong? What am I doing wrong? Or it's just the overall process becomes draining. And then Hollywood requires a lot. And like what he said, I do agree that there isn't a cutoff time, but we also have personal timelines where we would like to be like, my family, a lot of them are established. They are married and kids and have like start progressing in life. And I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm wasting.
But they also settled down for normal life.
Mm-hmm. True. But that's also a struggle of mine. Sometimes I wish that I could be satisfied with normal things. Where you like, come on, you're on a private jet one week. Me and him go and travel like throughout London, and then you go somewhere else, and then you're home, you get a call, then somebody sends a plane for you. Then you're walking a red carpet. How do you go back to New Jersey and live a normal life after that? Mm-hmm. So with that, and then it's also it's like a torment because I get to see all of these amazing things all the time. And it's like it's like my fake life. So it's like, I live a very luxurious, glamorous life on the outside looking in, but it's still like, that's not my real life. I just attend those things.
But you know what I love about the conversation we're having about me staying with you for those 2 years? I had to humble myself to be able to say in my truth that there were 2 years that I chose to not be productive. And, I had a friend, look out for me and give me that opportunity to stay there and figure it out. I mean, it was one day, literally, in the sobriety of those 2 years, I was like, I'm living in somebody's house. And I had to pick myself the fuck up and go get my own place and just, get back to what I was doing. But I think one thing that I struggle with, which is different than you and maybe you, is I struggle with like, I'm on Wild 'N Out. I do Dish Nation. I'm doing this morning talk show. I'm doing all this. And I still feel like, one, I feel like I'm not doing enough. Two, I also feel like there was this complex that Viola Davis says she had. It was I forgot what the complex is called, but basically where you feel like you don't belong there. Not even though I know when I'm in a room I belong there because Oprah said it, and if Oprah said it, it's real. But I still struggle sometimes with still wanting to preserve being private and not being as noticed, right, with knowing you have to be noticed to have the influence, to have the impact. You know what I'm saying? So like now that I'm kind of in it, I feel like, okay, I don't ever want to be that guy that feels like I can't do X because if I do, then there's this consequence. You do start to feel the pressure as you become more and more recognizable or whatever. Right. But how do you work to find more of what he's able to accept, that like time is not really as important?
Well, it's just as you get older, it's like, because at first you all say like, okay, by this age, I'm going to not do this. But then that age hits and then you're not ready to give up yet, because realistically, this is our whole life. Like, this is what we do. Like, if you spend over 10 years doing something, that's what you do. So to like start over would be harder than just to finish what you're doing. So in my mind, the logic is just to keep going. Then on top of that, like you said, you have small victories, but like, winning wars and winning battles is two different things. So it's like you could win a war, but it's like ultimately I'm trying to win the battle. So, and then me, like I'm not like a weak person. So giving up is just not who I am. So I just keep going. But like frustrations is a part of life. If you're not frustrated, and if you're like, I think I even heard you say this today, if you're like too comfortable, like if you're comfortable, that's not a good sign. You're not going to grow. So like sometimes you got to get roughed up and beat up a little bit more to like, get strengthened and learn new things so you can grow.
What about you? Because you're out here, what are your like long-term goals?
I'm going to be, I always say I'm the Black Ryan Seacrest. So journalism.
Well, you can't do that because that's me, but you can.
I'm the dark-skinned Jason Lee.
Okay, cool.
That's what we're like that. No, just to be a respected journalist and to have a platform to tell our stories that aren't being told. And that's always been my ultimate goal. And listening to these stories, so I've only been out here 2 years now, and to hear about like age and like, because I feel like I'm getting old, and I feel like,
how old are you?
I'll be 25.5 on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm getting old, you know?
25 years old, I was getting fired from the probation department and going to start work at a union. You know, like in the thing I've learned about this journey is you exactly where God wants you to be when you're there. But it's figuring out what is the lesson while I'm there is the hard part because there's so many distractions. People mad at me because I unfollowed everybody on Instagram. Oh, I got to follow you back today.
He just followed me.
No, I just followed him.
He just followed me.
I'm following my close people, you know, because the one thing I had to unfollow everybody to stop being sucked into what everybody else was doing because I was so busy measuring my blessings next to everybody else's blessings. The minute I stopped following everybody and stopped looking for what people were doing, my eye was only on one ball. No pun intended.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying? And so I just feel like, but there's one thing though that I feel like, and just in today having you guys on the show is like, I have to be better at sharing my resources to the people that matter. Because it's not because you're not going to ask for them. You're not going to ask for them, but you do have to ask. Because it's really hard when I tell you my eye is so focused on my own shit right now. Yeah. It doesn't, you know, like, I know like you don't like to bother me. You'll say, can you introduce me to so-and-so? And then you'll go away and think that because I don't follow through, I'm not interested in helping, but I'm literally.
No, I don't. I would never think that. I know like.
Well, I would think that.
I mean, there's been one or two times where you're like, hey, I met this person. You should meet them. Just remind me. And I'll remind you, but I know you're busy. So, you know.
You got to stay on me though.
So how do you find the
be better
balance?
at that.
How do you find the balance between the career and then the personal
That's
life?
the other thing. So thank you for that. So while I'm at Wildin' Out this season, I wake up one day in my hotel and all my designer shoes and we got the drivers and the haircuts every day and this and that and the show and all the celebrities coming on me. You know what I thought? I lost my own self into everything. I haven't been taking care of myself the way that I need to, investing in, you know, personal care or, you know, when you're on a plane all the time and there's a lot of times I'm on planes that I don't need to be on that plane. You know, going and taking a trip to Miami for a week because it's fun. I'm at a point right now where if I just slow down that and invest in me a little bit more, I'll have a longer time to do all of that. Right. Does that make sense?
Right.
So I had this whole epiphany where, okay, I got to come back and stay connected to my real friends. I got to start working on my personal self more instead of just talking about it. This platform that I have to elevate the conversation a little bit and show that there's more depth to me. I mean, yeah, I could talk about sucking dick, eating pussy and all that too. And all the crazy things that we did. But at the end of the day, there are people that are sitting at work listening right now saying, oh, man, I want to be an actor or I want to be a singer or a creative person or I want to be a producer or a host or I want to start my own business. Or if they meet my old intern, I want to figure out how to do bundles properly. You know, wherever they are, they're sitting there in their, you know, most people tell me that they're listening to us at work. They're trying to figure out how do I find a balance? And the thing is that I don't know that there's a real answer other than you have to do what works for you. But one thing for me, I can't be so consumed. Like I was so consumed with Hollywood Unlocked the other night. I was laying in my bed in Atlanta, couldn't even sleep. That's not healthy. Yeah. So a couple friends sent me some of their books. So I'm going to give them a free plug. You niggas are going to owe me something. All right. So a friend of mine, Smith used to work for a competitor of mine, but he's always been really good and supportive of me. Has a book called So What We Not Gonna Do. And it's getting you together in Facebook statuses, tweets, and whimsical quotes. And so it's a book of quotes. One of them, stop taking old rules into new places. That key won't work on that door. So I think it's pretty interesting. He has a lot of these whimsical things that he puts on his Facebook. So you should definitely check that out. And one of my former co-stars on Wildin' Out, her name is Julia Young. She's hilarious. She's a writer. She's written on TRL. She's written on Wildin' Out. And she was on Wildin' Out. She has a book called Please Don't Grab My Pussy. And it's a book about Donald Trump. Just hilarious. She's so creative. She's just funny as hell. But anyway, check out this book as well. So shout out to them. This is a show about friends helping friends, apparently. Hey. All right. So I have some topics here I want to go over real quick. You guys tell me what you think. First of all, we can't go on without mentioning the fire. California is on fire from the top, from the top to the bottom.
You can't escape.
There we go.
I can't. You know, the thing is, I try to just say things, and they just, because it's me saying them. You know, the other day we're on Wildin' Out, and Nick Cannon is looking at my shoe. You know, I have a really big foot, and I have really big hands. So I'm looking at Nick, looking at my shoe, and we're on the air. So I'm like, nigga, pick your eyes up. But I was so ready to say something crazy to him that was inappropriate, but because it's just who I am. And I think it's now created this thing that people think no matter what I do and say is messy or crazy. So anyway, from the top of the state to the bottom of the state, our state is on fire. What have you guys been noticing?
I've seen it. Yeah, it literally changes the sky. Like the atmosphere is like the crazy part, it sounds crazy, is actually looks really beautiful.
It does. On Friday when the smog and stuff, it like a sunset at 3:00. And I was like, this is amazing. And then the ashes started to fall. I'm like, oh, Armageddon, let's go.
Losing their homes, but unfortunately it's like, I guess, beauty for ashes.
So do you know anybody affected by the fire?
I do. I have a couple of friends who were displaced. They had to like move out of their homes and pack everything up that they could and get out as quickly as possible. So I do have friends who were affected by it. And it's sad, especially like, thinking about all of those families who've lost everything. And then again, there's tons of wildlife that have been affected. So it's a big deal.
So if your house burns down, this one, your house burns down, you really have nowhere to go. No. I mean, because there's one person on my Instagram who posted, I've lost everything. Some I know. I've lost everything. I'm homeless, and I'm confused. And I was like, wow. Just to think like everything burned up and you not have the resources. But apparently 110 people are missing and 23 people have died, and the death tolls climbed to 25. And so shout out to everybody out there helping, all the fire departments, the first responders, police departments. And to the families affected, I mean, we're here with you. And I don't know, like, what do you do in this situation? Because in New York, you guys don't have fires like that.
Oh, we do.
Not like this.
But we don't have wildfires. But the problem in New York is all of the buildings are attached and they're old. And then they're made out of, like, lead and stuff like that. So, like, if I've been in a fire before. So if one building catches on fire, a whole block can go. So
what's like the first thing that you grab when the fire starts?
You grab yourself, because
I think you grab your children, you grab your pets.
Yeah.
There's the Malibu ranch thing with the giraffe and all that people go out to. And the giraffe was out there left stranded, so they've been trying to find ways of getting these animals to safety. So again, our hearts are with all of those people. But let me go on. Okay, so Black Twitter exposes white Instagram models and influencers posting as black women?
Yes.
Well, tell me what's going on with that.
It's something that's going on that I thought was rather interesting. So Black Twitter is currently buzzing because people are noticing that white or European featured models are posing as African Americans doing like skin tanning and darker makeup, and they're calling it nigga fishing. Now
they're calling it what?
Nigga fishing.
What?
Black Twitter is reckless, and this is the term that they come up with.
What is nigga fishing?
Well, nigga fishing is kind of like the Rachel Dolezal thing, like when you're European descent.
So like not catfishing, but nigga fishing.
Nigga fishing, like you're acting like you're an African American in order to get clout, get likes, get endorsements.
God is not pleased.
Things like that.
Wow.
So Twitter has been going in on all these people and exposing multiple models. So I guess like the question is, do you all see that this is a problem, or do you think that they should be able to do what they do if they're trying to just get clout off of it? Because everybody eventually is like clout chasing.
What do y'all think?
Yeah,
well, I'll tell you what you said to me one day when I said, "Oh my God, have you heard this new Sam Smith song?" You said, "I don't like him," and I said, "Why? Sam Smith is amazing." And you said, "What did you say?"
I feel that the culture there are a lot of culture vultures out there, and at the end of the day, as a African American male,
what did you say?
You
said.
Tell me.
I don't like him because people only like R&B music when white people sing it.
It's true.
Gentrified soul.
That is true. I think Stephanie Mills said they want the culture, but they don't want us. Like they want R&B, but they don't want us. And the thing is, like for me being a music creator and knowing so many amazing people, we're in the studio day and night creating things. And like, I have other friends who I love and white friends, but they'll walk in with half the quality and we'll get the deal. And then like you're breaking your back to get your sound stolen by someone. It's been happening forever, so it's like no difference. But do you
think it's because I love Jasmine Sullivan, and everybody say Jasmine Sullivan is so underrated. She's so underrated. But then when her album comes out, we don't stream it. We're not buying.
No. We do.
We do.
What? Here's the thing. Jasmine Sullivan appeals to us.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Jasmine Sullivan may not appeal to white people.
Right.
But Sam Smith, who will sing like Jasmine Sullivan, will appeal to white people. Therefore, white people who control the marketing dollars at these labels will put money behind him.
Right. It's in budget.
Adele.
Right.
She's a great singer.
I don't think Adele's that great.
She's a great singer. She's okay, but
She's pitchy.
She's okay.
Say it.
But
She's super pitchy.
Say it. And if Beyonce pulled a stunt like Adele pulled at the Grammys, I have
stop
to
and
say
start
it.
over?
You stop on the Grammys, the most prestigious stage that we have in music, that people are dying to get, and a lot of artists who deserve it never. Like I think Patti LaBelle doesn't even have a Grammy. And you at the Grammys and you didn't rehearse and you start over, that's airtime. That's disrespectful to the people who work day and night. Now, I know that I'm not saying that I'm just against people that have a certain sound, because I love everybody, I like everything, but I just think everybody should be treated the same. It should be the same marketing dollars that goes into Rihanna, that goes into Britney Spears, that goes into Ciara, you know? And the truth is, the reason why you don't hear Jasmine Sullivan as much is because she doesn't have the same budget as Sam Smith.
So how do you think we rectify that?
Well, it goes into this. It should be, labels should treat everyone the same. Everyone, if you're on a label, the same marketing, the same attention, the same, like, and then also you have to look at your team and your A&Rs. It's also up for the artists too, to like, you know, we live in a age.
But we were missing the question. The question isn't how you fix the music industry. The question about nigga fishing, right? About rape, pillaging cultures, about stealing our swag and making it yours so that way you can get to the dollar. Because at the end of the day, black people still haven't figured out the power behind the black dollar.
We don't.
I had a nigga online telling me that me and Tiffany Haddish were coons for going to Waffle House after Waffle House has been involved in some shit. I said, well, nigga, do you shop at Walmart?
Right.
Because Walmart is killing black businesses in small communities. Walmart doesn't give their employees health care coverage, which means all of us taxpayers are paying for a company that's making billions of dollars profiting off of black people. So I stopped shopping at Walmart over 10 years ago.
Yep.
So I was telling this social responsible nigga that he should keep my name. He should keep my name out as well, because when Trayvon Martin died, I was the one that led the campaign, and you remember that.
I know.
Before it was socially popular to post Black Lives Matter, I was out there really saying niggas' lives matter equally to yours. So I just find it interesting that when we go back to the nigga fishing, like it is a problem that we've even bought into. Because he'll tell you. You can walk in my house and hear Sam Smith playing right behind the Clark sisters.
And I don't take anything away from him. It's just that, like, you know, just if you had to be black for real, most people wouldn't do it. Like 2 days ago, I'm just driving in a nice car. We get pulled over and the cop asks us what we do. You know, like, so you can pretend to be a black person or dress like, that's fine, because ethnicity is a made up word. It's just who you identify with. But my thing is, if you really had to be a black person, it's very difficult to be black in America. And that to be a black man is a double entendre. It's worse.
Well, do you think that we enable it? Because although we say, because
You sound like
We're not doing an
Kanye
interview,
West
honey.
Jr.
Just talk about the conversation. Let me show you nigga fishing. You're thrown back in the water. So what do you think, Rob?
Look, I mean, this is something that's been happening forever. But, you know, people see the beauty in black culture and in black people. Everyone wants their skin to be a little bit darker. The lips to be a little bit fuller, because there's a lot of beauty in that.
I feel like sometimes I enable like the things, because like I will listen to Sam Smith or Adele, I'm like, oh, this stuff is cool, but then like sometimes something else from that's very similar from somebody that looks like me, I won't even play it. Or like I love Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and they wear boxer braids and have the butts and stuff like that.
I love them too.
But it's like, so like I can understand why people sometimes with nigga fish, because they can get clout off of. We're going to clap for them. We see a white girl with a big booty, like, damn, she got a big booty. But if another black girl come in with a big booty, it's like, oh, that's normal.
But here's where we have to be better as a people, and I hope people hear this and take this the right way. When that nigga went online today and posted my video, and I'm calling him a nigga because this ain't no brother of mine. He posted my video of me and Tiffany, and he said, my brother. I said, you ain't no brother of mine, because my brother wouldn't put me on blast and tell his followers to come and tell me what they think. That's online cyberbullying. I said, you know, in my playground, I play in this thing called the internet, so I know what you're doing. You trying to do that, I'm a smart nigga shit. But what you're really doing is you're masking the way you're trying to bully me by telling your people to come and tell me that I can't have them cheese eggs at the Waffle House. Now, I had interviewed a model years ago named Kathy Ireland when I started the Trayvon Martin thing, because I didn't understand fully how to help, because the issues were so complex. She said, read a book called How Helping Hurts. She said there were rice farmers in Haiti when the earthquake happened, and everybody was so quick to help that they started sending rice. And what happened was they end up putting the rice farmers out of business. So they were helping the problem, but then they were creating another problem. So I was saying to the smart nigga online, him and Tamika Mallory, that, hey, smart nigga, if you want to help the conversation, so what do? We boycott the Waffle House now. Guess how many black people work at the Waffle House? So we boycott them, and then they lay them black people off, and then what happens? Now they unemployed. So what is the real solution? Why y'all still shopping at Walmart? Because deodorant is 50% off.
It is.
Understand how the black dollar works. You can't be quick to go online and say the solution to changing the culture in music is by not listening to Sam Smith. You have to say the way is I'm going to intern and work my way up to the top to get there to put niggas back in the game. Because I mean, shout out to Beyonce. When I went to the Beyonce concert and I saw Tank walk out, Tank Ben deserved a platform like that because he's one of the most phenomenal R&B singers out there and he's a friend to the show. So I look at like Beyonce silently is doing the work.
She is
giving people scholarships, creating concerts to raise money for awareness of black men being killed. You know, just the things that she's doing in her shows of, you know, empowering young women. She's doing the work without trying to take credit or saying, "Hey, everybody, look at what I'm doing," like the smart nigga was doing.
Employs them too. She
employs them.
Right.
So I think in terms of nigga fishing, yeah, it's a real problem. It's a problem. But see, the stuff y'all are mad at listening, the Kardashians, that's like, okay, they filled their asses and their lips and they're getting coins. I don't think they put a bunch of black women on the board and said, this is who I want to look like. This is what I want to look like. And if you think about it, big butts were always in our community, but they weren't big in the culture on television.
They weren't.
Until you had the Kardashians and people. I mean, you had, who do we have that was like curvaceous black
J-Lo?
woman?
Oh, it was a
black woman on TV. Like who? Like really?
If you think about the 90s, everyone wanted to be really thin. So it was a big, like Halle Berry was really big in the 90s. And everyone.
Leela Rashawn.
Yeah.
Angela Bassett.
Right. All of those are really, really thin women. And you know, black DNA is not like that. So, and it's really hard to say that then.
Because we knew Aretha had a fat ass.
What you're not going to do. What you're not going to do.
Aretha Franklin had a fat ass.
In some.
I can't.
I'm done.
It was.
I'm done.
Pendulums.
I'm done.
I know Patti LaBelle saw her like, bitch, your ass ain't fatter than mine. But anyway, side note. The truth of the matter is that once the culture was raped and put on TV for niggas to consume, only then did it say it's okay.
Yeah. Like
same
braids.
with the Sam Smith music. When Kim Kardashian put the braids up, she probably just wanted braids.
Yeah.
I'm sure she didn't go through her still a nigga shit book.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And say, I'm going to do that. Because Bo Derek did it too. And Bo Derek was white as hell. And she had a fat ass, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand the question of, are we enabling it? Because, you know, if people want to see our culture and appreciate it and you know, steal from it, not pillage it, but if they want to like darken their skin, fill their lips, get a bigger butt.
It's nothing wrong with it.
Wait. Now, I will say who made me mad. What's that fat girl's name? She's an actress, white girl, just got a...
Amy Schumer?
Nope. She's pregnant. She's not fat.
She was fat.
She was thick.
Oh my God.
She was thick and she had a fat nose, but she's cool. We fuck with her. We fuck with Amy Schumer. Now I fuck with her the long way.
Oh my God.
She said she was the first oversized woman to have a comedic role. Lead comedic role.
Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson. She forgot about Queen Latifah in Just Right. She forgot about Queen Latifah in The Last Holiday. She forgot about Monique in the movie that she did as a leading actress. But see, this is the thing. The media, TV, radio make it popular when the white person did it.
Yeah.
And allowed her to actually say that she was the first one to do it when they know niggas did it. But see, Queen Latifah, while I love her, she's so classy. She didn't say shit. Because she knows.
It's business though.
But how do we change that?
I got this amazing new bra. It's so comfortable. It's so just like perfect on my breast. And it was actually really fun for me to go through the process of getting this Third Love bra. It takes less than a minute, and then they take you through these prompts of figuring out what is the shape of your breast, which, you know, some breasts are bigger than the other, and those play a part in actually how your bra will fit. And Third Love helps you identify your breast size and shape and find styles that fit your body. So honestly, in my opinion, it's hands down the most comfortable bra you'll ever own. It's tagless labels. There's no itching, no straps that are slipping, ultra soft smoothing fabrics, lightweight, super thin memory foam cups, and you know, it lifts up your boobage. It's Third Love guarantees a perfect fit. Returns and exchanges are free and easy. So Third Love knows there's a perfect bra for everyone. So right now, they're offering our listeners 15% off your first order. Go to thirdlove.com/unlocked now to find your perfect fitting bra and get 15% off your first purchase. That's thirdlove.com/unlocked for 15% off today.
How do we get people who are listening to the show right now saying, I agree, but ain't ready to do nothing? What do they do?
What you do is, I think, calling people out on it helps, because it starts a conversation. It's not like bullying, but it's also like, I read this thing online and it was a little funny. It said that things that people call ghetto were really creative, and then once it's accepted by white America, then it becomes a trend. Like, if I had braids at my corporate job and walked in with braids, or my cousin walked in on Wall Street where she works with braids, she would be, they just walk past you, look at your head all day, it's like, but now that it's normal, it's not ghetto anymore. It's like a trend. So don't call things ghetto. That's the first thing, to stop calling our creativity ghetto, because it's not ghetto. Just because somebody's doing something differently than you and it's not bought in a store, or it's not designer, or has a big name, it's not ghetto, it's creative. Now, some stuff is hood. It's a difference between hood and ghetto.
What do you think? Because like you look at like blackfilm.com, right? Mm-hmm. You guys cover black film. Mm-hmm. Why do you think there's this perception that black films can't have the big box office appeal that, say, another Devil Wears Prada or whatever? Like, they look at Wakanda. What's the Wakanda? Black Panther. Mm-hmm. They look at that as like the mythical unicorn that never existed. Whereas we like, niggas go to the movies and niggas want to see niggas in movies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. That's the $1 million question, to be honest. But I think at some point, yes, we do need to. I think we need to be a little bit better about supporting some of the projects and artists that are not as mainstream, or that don't have a subject matter that people want to run to the movie theater to see. Mm-hmm. So when films, like Beloved come out, like, we need to be a little bit more supportive of those projects. Go out and see those projects.
Did anybody see Beloved?
I did.
I wasn't old enough to see Beloved when it came out.
But was that Oprah Winfrey's project?
Yeah.
But it was a good project,
It
right?
was great.
But why didn't people go see that?
Oprah.
It was too deep.
The subject matter. It was a book. A lot of African Americans don't like to read, so it wasn't like drama filled.
I don't think that's true.
I thought that it was just like,
wait, hold on. Wait, he has a library in his house. So
we are talking about Rob here.
I'm just
no. Let's.
I think black people read. I mean, I think, again, not to say anything negative about you,
Jersey,
but I just
let him say his point of view.
But I do think that's part of it too. The rhetoric we have about ourselves at times can be very negative, and I think we can't fall into the trap of doing that to ourselves either, because we are smart, talented, beautiful people. We read, we write, we sing, we dance. We're talented actors. Not taking anything away from people who are out there working, but to me, it seemed like for a very long time, the roles in films that were going to African Americans were going to musicians, and not the actors who were actually putting in the work day in and day out to hone their craft. So I'm like, there's little things like that I feel like we could start working on to put us in a better position from like a film perspective and a music perspective. Just giving respect to people who are actually out there working hard and putting in the work. But I think we read.
Some of us do, but this is another conversation I always have. Like, people in LA, Los Angeles, and New York have a false reality of what the real world, or what the real United States is. And because I did live in Middle America and live in these other rural places that are not as ahead as we are, they don't read. And the truth about it is, a lot of people, and then when you look at like even like elections, and you look at how could people don't go out and vote. How come they don't do this? It's just because they don't know, and because they don't know because they're not educated.
But I think that, I don't think you can fault black people for that, because I think a lot of these communities where these kids don't have access to the same materials other children do is not a fault to them. So it's not that they don't read. It's maybe they don't have access to some of
I think it's also dependent on the books that are put out. A lot of these, when I was younger, it was like the first black book I read was like The Coldest Winter Ever. Mm-hmm. Have y'all read that book? Mm-hmm. The Coldest Winter. It's just about sex, and she's like 16 and getting done by like 25-year-olds. And like back to the point of Beloved, when we go to the movies, we don't want to watch slave times. We want to watch an escape or something that we can see ourselves doing. The Beloved was about slaves stealing the baby. She threw the baby across the room and it died. It was just really dark, and nobody really wants to see that.
Well, you look at Precious too. I mean, like that's the other thing. we gotta start doing more movies that we can fantasize about.
Yeah.
You know, that we can look at, like, you know, like Wolf on Wall Street. Could we have seen him as a black man?
No, because we got Pursuit of Happiness.
No, because we've never been allowed to see that.
Right.
You never, like, when you think of Lean on Me, why that was so amazing. This was a nigga who was in charge of a tough school and showed fatherly love, showed discipline, poise, who showed structure, who was demanding they be great.
Right.
And it was a phenomenal film because for us, most of us were growing up in inner cities where there was nobody fighting for us to be great. So it was the fantasy about having somebody care about me so much that isn't my dad or isn't my family member, invest in me being a better person. Like, we need to have that. But yet Friday, no disrespect, or, you know, Colors.
Don't Be a Menace.
Don't Be a Menace, which those are great classics, but I mean, like, that's comical, but like, we need real stories too.
I think we can tell all of the stories. Like right now, films like Girls Trip, like that, you could have taken all of those amazing actors out and replaced them with white characters, and it's still a story that could be told. Like, we live normal lives too, and I think those great stories that are being told now, you know, need to continue to happen. But I don't think we should, you know, discount the slave movies or, you know, the gang movies, because that's a part of the history and culture of where we came from.
I'm just saying kids should grow up to see more than being a slave.
Absolutely. Just like they should be able to see the Cosby Show, and they should be able to see, you know,
Speak on it.
Right.
A show that
we don't have a show like that right now, by the way. We don't have any.
Oh, we have Blackish.
Blackish.
I said we have Blackish.
But still,
Is Power, is that a good one?
my problem with Blackish though is that that's still a little funny because they're saying because they're successful, they're Blackish. Why can't you just have been black? See, that's the part of the problem. That's still a problem because it's saying like we're successful, we're not. They're black, but they're not really black. And see, when I went to school, I went to school with like on Lean on Me. And at first in New Jersey, the paint silt was peeling off the walls. We had 16-year-olds in fourth grade that couldn't read. It wasn't until my mom took a trip to the school and realized that there were kids that now that we know had learning disabilities, took us out. And then we went to the quote unquote suburb white school when I realized it was the difference. You know, so it's like you can't, when I would go there and if you can just speak decent and I'm not the best speaker, then they say, oh, you're not like, or you're like, as in like, that's not the standard for black people.
I've had people, no, I've been in rooms where people have said, you're so articulate.
Right. See, that's an insult.
But wait, I know what you're saying.
For a black person.
You saying like, damn nigga, you can talk.
Right.
Now, you can see me drink and talk real reckless, but it ain't talking black. It's just talking like a drunk nigga.
Right.
Now, let's go back to black Twitter calling this nigga fishing. I got a problem with that.
That's a problem.
We need to stop purporting this okayness with using that word and then getting mad when white people say it. We have to start taking hardline positions. This goes back to the revelation I had while I was away. There's so many times I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do. He knows.
Yes.
We're going to go to the gym. 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 I have all the resources. It's not about not having access. It's not about not having the time. It's about saying to myself every day before I do anything, I am worth spending me time first before I give me to you.
Right.
It's okay for me to miss a trip here and there, to stay home and go swimming for an hour and have fun. I love swimming. Right. I haven't been swimming. I was at Wilding Out in Atlanta, and I remember looking at a tree, and I said, I don't know the last time I touched a tree. I don't know the last time I've sat on grass. I don't know the last time I've walked down the street and looked at bushes. I don't even know what bushes look like anymore. I'm telling you, I'm so consumed with wake up, do my work, try to find money, go to sleep. Wake up. It's great that you're accomplishing things and your bank account is cute, but if at the end of the day all you got is a bunch of shoes and clothes and trips and pictures on your Instagram, are you really doing what matters? I went home, Adam here that shoots the show, my gift to my sister was shooting her wedding.
Wow. That's amazing.
And he cut that wedding, and that wedding, it's just amazing. But I know how much that gift and me actually taking one day off, it was my only day off to go home to her wedding. When I saw her reaction and we both cried and all that, I said, all my people want is my time. Whereas I can Venmo you, Cash App you, PayPal you, buy you, and I think that that's doing something. That really ain't doing nothing. But that goes back to where we have to be more in touch, not just with ourselves, but in touch with what we're putting out in the world. The nigga fishing, I ain't with that. Ain't trying to hear that. I don't even follow Black Twitter because that shit is low key in a way. They use it on television to say Black Twitter went crazy to make you look crazy, and
Exactly.
you think it's making us look good.
It's not. It's not.
Anyway, okay, so this was the friendship show. We should do this more often.
Yeah, I love it. It was amazing.
Next time I'll come on here and tell all y'all business.
Oh, well, I won't be here for that episode, but
But Black Ryan Seacrest, we gonna have to demote your. We gonna have to demote your dreams.
He said dark skinned Jason Lee.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Dark skin Jason Lee.
Everybody, meet the dark skin Jason Lee. Follow Kelvin on Instagram. Just put the camera on him. There, your Instagram is right there. Follow this thought right here. He'll be with me around the world. No, go to the next thought. Oh, okay, there. Follow him.
the only thought.
This man naked on Instagram, and follow this smart thought over here with a library in his house. All right, and y'all already follow me, so peace.